Apparently, Doja Cat hates her fans. Okay, I'm kidding, kinda. I jokingly say that because in this video, we will cover the recent controversies surrounding some of the recent comments made by the rap star criticizing her fans for their chosen name and how much backlash that has caused. By the end of this video, you will understand whether or not she was actually justified, whether or not her career is over, and what you should do about it in situations like this, whether you are a fan of the artist or not.
Listen, ShySpeaks, 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 ShySpeaks.
So, basically, for context, let's get into it. It started when Doja responded to her discovery that the fans were calling themselves kittens. Many major pop stars have fans who collectively go by names. Lady Gaga has the Little Monsters. Nicki Minaj has the Barbies, but then there are also pop stars whose fans do not have a coined term of endearment for themselves. So let's get into exactly what happened and what makes this so controversial. So number one, there was thread one, which kind of kicked off out of nowhere. I think Doja was responding to one of her fans, and she said that my fans don't call themselves blank. Well, I mean, she didn't say blank. She said a cuss word, SHI. She basically said, my fans don't really call themselves. If you're sitting up running some type of fan account and doing all that, you need to get you a life and go get off the couch and go help your mom get you a job. I mean, it kind of went real left real quickly, and there was consequence. Number one. First of all, the fans started clapping back. Okay, so one fan said something like, let me pull up what the fan said. The fan had a really good point. It says, Doja being mean to her fans for calling themselves kittens, like her name isn't Doja Cat. She wasn't dressed as a cat and meowed her way through an entire interview just a few months ago. I don't know. Has she lost her mind? And I'm sure they were saying lost your mind, figuratively speaking. And so basically, her comments drew an uproar of a lot of other comments. But then there was consequence number two. And some fans started showing screenshots of themselves refunding tickets for live shows that they had attended. Right. So this is, I mean, it's heating up. Right. So now, not only are you getting these negative comments being spewed, you're also getting this consequence of people like, hold on now. I'm not, you're not getting my, listen, refund my concert ticket. Then in comes thread number two, when a fan account responded with a request for her to say that she just say you love us, right? We know it's probably mad, it's probably frustrating, but just tell us you love us. Doja replied, I don't though, because I don't know y'all. A different fan responded to that one and was like, hey, we've been with her since thick and thin, right? We've been with you through thick and thin. And without a doubt, it has been through thick and thin because Doja has had a fair share of scandals or controversies, especially recently. But to that note, Doja responded, nobody forced you. Why are you talking to me like you my mother? Like, don't try to correct me. And she's included the B word, right? And so in comes consequence number three. She lost 250 followers on Instagram within like a 24-hour period. Then in comes consequence number four, a day later or so. Because the initial controversy and conversations, these comments happened over the weekend. Well, by the week's time, she's lost followers, and those who are still standing says, we are demanding an apology. So the question here is, what ticked the artist off, and is she even justified for not wanting her fans to be called kittens, for not wanting them to have a group name? And I would say she reserves the right to say that, hey, I believe that I am unique. I see myself as an individual, and people who are truly my super fans don't want to group themselves in as well. They don't want to be grouped in as kittens. They see themselves as individuals. I want my fans being so busy reveling in their individuality that they don't have time to be grouped in, right? Because again, there are plenty of pop stars whose fans don't refer to themselves as anything. So, but is she justified? Because, I mean, no. Like I said, there is a way to say that. The way I just said it could be a way she'd have said it. Hey, listen, I see all this talk about kiddings. Truly, indeed, my fans are individuals. They see themselves as unique and they're out here reveling in their artistry and their. She could have said that. Basically, in other words, there was a way to be kind. And recently, I've been having this thought that if people truly had the courage to be kind, it could truly like change the trajectory of how of the world as we know it, right? So one mean comment caused another mean comment, caused loss in followers, caused a demand for an apology, caused loss of funds, right? But I mean, is it understandable? Because also, if you have followed the Doja Cat situation a little bit, you understand that she loathes parasocial relationships between artists and fans. She feels like she's being idle, or people are idolizing them. They're spending all their time idolizing this person who they don't really know, and it's just kind of like too much attention, right? And so, and I will say this: she does go on record on saying in one of her social media profiles that like you probably wouldn't like me if you saw me in person. So I'm just saying, like. I don't know if we can be mad when she already said that you probably wouldn't like me if you saw me in person. Okay. So, but still, does that really justify how she came at her fans? Nah, nope. She could have totally been much more kind in how she expressed that view, especially in my opinion, as a person of privilege as well. Let's discuss that. She goes on in these conversations with them and almost kind of like calling them poor and dumb. And that's not cool on several levels. I don't even have to explain that. And then, from my perspective, I believe that if you feel people are kind of moving around in a lowly state, you help them aspire to something greater. You don't just tell them that they're the lesser, right? That's not how you get anything done. And so, listen, I hope that through this situation, it's sparked conversations amongst her team, her family, her camp, her label, all the people around her to for her to develop the rhetoric to truly express how she feels about the matter. My fans are individuals. You know, Michael Jackson's fans didn't call themselves anything, or I don't know. There's some kind of way that she can say it. So this type of thing can bring her closer to the rhetoric. But the words that she used, that's not it. Definitely, definitely, definitely not it, right? In my opinion. I'm going to just say it. People are talking about the fact that because of this, right? Because she didn't have the right word rhetoric, because she didn't have the right words, that her career could be over. And ultimately, you can commit career suicide to an extent. But if you ask me, while this was rude and off base, her career isn't over. Reason number one, there are those who will give her grace. They're gonna say she was angry, she was under pressure, she's a human, and she makes mistakes, and rightly so. Everybody deserves grace to some extent or the other, right? Well, as long as she can make some kind of amends, they'll forgive her and they'll just keep going, right? At max, she may have lost the masses, which means that her 15 seconds of fame is probably over. But 15 seconds of fame, I mean, like, you let me say this. You when you have that level of fame, right? When we allow people to be thrust into this level of celebrity, it's really, really hard to undo that. And that's something that we have to ask ourselves, is that a problem? Is that an issue? Can Have we given people platforms that we can't take back? I mean, should we be taking back? Should we be doing that anyway? Should it, but I'm just saying that basically from what I see here, it's gonna be hard to tear that down. You just can't undo that. There are gonna be some people who are going to divest, at the level of their morals and ethics. And then there are going to be other people who are going to double down, right? She's going to find a tribe of people who says, hey, the masses may have fallen off of you, but I like you. I rock with you. I actually like your attitude. In fact, some of these same people actually enjoy her because of her attitude. So then we get upset when she displays the same attitude that edginess that helped get her on. So I feel like there's a double-edged sword, a little bit of a contradiction here. That's not sorry, double-edged sword, a double standard, a little bit of a contradiction that's going on here. So anyway, in my opinion, she's going to find a group of people who are going to double down and say, hey, I like this whole mean girl act. I don't care if you're rude, kind of like her. She's going to say, listen, I listen to music of people who I don't like. I'm separating that type of thing from this, from that. I know how to look. I wouldn't hang out with her. She's right. I wouldn't like her if I met her, but she makes some really cool art and the music gets me through my day or helps me dance or whatever it is that her music does for people. So, what should you do about this? Now, there's a couple of groups of people who I want to answer that question for. What should you do? Fans, we already know what you're going to do. You're either going to divest or you're going to double down, depending on whether or not she gives you this apology she's demanding. But for people who's not fans of this situation, you just heard about it and you're like, man, what can we do about situations like this when artists who are basically kind of squatting and criticizing the very group of people who supports them and helps pay their bills? Like, there's a certain level of character flaw here that I don't like. So for you, I'm going to tell you something here in a second. First, let me address the music industry. If you are any type of industry personnel and you're watching this video by chance, I want you to understand that you are going to have to start recruiting people based on the ethics and the morals that you have, and not just be basing it off of popularity and talent. Popularity and talent must be factored in, but you're going to have to factor in character. I have a greater issue with all these entities, whether it's especially in the entertainment industry, all these organizations that suddenly have an issue. Suddenly you have an issue when the person revels in the same characteristics that they've always had. I don't understand where and how this happens, but we do it. Like, all of a sudden, no, start recruiting at the level of character that you want displayed by your organization. But anyway, back to you, right? So if you are not a fan of this, but you heard about the situation, you've heard about situations similar, here's what you can do. Don't spend your time focusing on the people who have this limelight and who are misusing the platform, so to speak, in your perspective. I would say you go find somebody who you believe deserves the level of exposure, this level of exposure, because they have the character and they have the talent and they align with your ethics and morals and values. Go support that person. Call yourself a kid and call yourself, I mean, whatever it is, you go put your full thrust behind people who you know say they have a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation. They have the right rhetoric to speak kindly and all of that thing. So just saying, go find you somebody else. I listen, I also happen to be an artist myself. My fans and my supporters start calling themselves Team ShySpeaks. So guess what I did? I embraced it. It is officially called Team ShySpeaks. I'm sure there's a link somewhere around this video that you can hit and join Team ShySpeaks. This was not a plug for myself. I'm truly saying it does not have to be me. Go and find you somebody, anybody that you can put your thrust, your support behind, because that's exactly where it should go hard. Because to Doja Cat's, maybe unbeknownst, that yes, she may be talented and yes, she has hard work, but your hard work alone, you'd have to do it by yourself versus having this behemoth of people who are help pushing your snowball along. That makes a huge difference. It's one thing to say, hey, here's something I have to offer to the world, and then there's another thing for when you say that, you have millions of other people saying, hey, she just released a single, hey, so now they're helping you spread the word about what the art that you just created, the product that you just released, the service that you just offered, whatever it is. Like, you have to understand that the momentum and the money that you're saving because of said supporters. So listen, overall, I think that we should be compassionate about the fact that she is being idolized, and it can be annoying from what we've seen from other artists. She is human and she has made a mistake. And so she should possibly get grace if she extends the apology. And even if she doesn't extend the apology, we understand that people have moments, right? So, sure, but is that a justification? No. So, for those of you guys out there who I've been seeing in the threads and the comments talking about it, stop trying to justify when people are actually just mean. Stop that. It's not cool. If anything, holding her accountable may actually help bring her closer to a positive solution and outcome, right? So, listen, if you care so much about character and kindness, I want everybody to start platforming people who align with the ethics that you say you hold so dear. In doing so, you're going to be not sending an artist to, you're going to be sending a message to not just this particular artist, but to all artists that are currently existing and who are coming up on the pipeline that, hey, when it comes to my dealings with people, principles matter. Now, I love to know what you think about the Doja Cat situation, as in like what's going to happen with her career from this point. We already know what the situation is, but how do you think this is going to play out? I think she's going to be fine. I think there's a group of people who is going to appreciate her talent and they can double down with her. And listen, but I don't think she was justified, but I do think she's going to be fine. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Drop me some comments and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Listen, ShySpeaks, 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 ShySpeaks.